morning, San Diego. My name is Veronica Corningstone. We are going to continue this week's theme of education. In today's society, what makes a fine educator? What are their strategies that help run an efficient classroom? Well, luckily, we are about to find out. I am here today with two of Michigan's finest educators. Please help me welcome Miss Regina Phalange and Miss Shannon Lauer. Welcome. Thank you for being on my show today.
Thank you for having us.
Here you go, Miss Lauer. Can you please explain to us your ideal classroom setup that helps run an efficient classroom?
Absolutely, Miss Corningstone. Okay. Well, what we have over here is the play area. This diagram of a classroom is generated for the lower L. So, of course, you're going to have the housekeeping and the play clothes. Now, if you notice, this area is secluded by storage units, which I also keep additional toys for the students to play in there. But my main focus to have the storage units right here was so that it would minimize the noise for the students across the classroom in the reading area. Now, since we're over here, I'll talk about these plush sofas that I provided for the students. So not only are they reading comfortably, but they are also reading in a silent area, okay? I put it in this corner just so it can be a little bit quieter. Now, if we go over here to the computer area, I have it in perfect view of the teacher desk. Therefore, it's easy accessible for the teacher to see and monitor what the students are constantly on with the computer. Now, I believe visuals are very important to include in your classroom. It's inspiring for students, but it also reminds them to stay on task. So these lines right here indicate my bulletin boards.
Great.
Additionally, I have the Art Center over here. Now, if you notice, there are no shelving units enclosing this area. I intended that so students can be in a high traffic area and complement each other on their artwork.
That's great.
Additionally, I have some storage over here in the Block Center where I keep materials for my bulletin boards. And then if you look over here in this area, I have some more shelving unit where I keep books that are different seasons, where I can pull out summer books or Easter books for spring, and that's pretty much it.
That's great. Thank you so much, Miss Shannon Lauer.
Thank
Great.
you.
All right, now we're going to talk with Miss Regina Phalange. She's going to talk to us about rules and consequences in her classroom that are used for an effective classroom management. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you, Ms. Corningstone, for having me.
No problem. All right, so let's talk about some rules that you think are effective in a classroom.
Well, for my classroom in particular, I have 5 standard rules.
Okay.
The first one is to be respectful to yourself and to others. This includes things like keeping your hands to yourself, being kind with your words and actions, and basically training them to be a good citizen.
Absolutely.
And this is important to all classrooms, I believe. But you need to define respect first before you can.
What is your definition of respect?
Respect would be, as I was saying, keeping your hands to yourself, being kind in your words and actions, doing unto others what you would want done unto you.
Absolutely.
Basically, that golden rule.
It's a great rule.
My second rule is to respect the school and personal property. This includes not damaging other students' properties, not damaging my property, not damaging any of the school's property. Even in the classroom or on the playground, in the hallways, this rule encompasses all.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Another rule I have is to listen carefully and to follow directions.
Very important.
Yes, this will minimize questions that the students may ask about different things that we're doing in the classroom, because if they follow directions and listen carefully, then that'll minimize those questions. And this also includes listening carefully when others are talking, because I think that's part of respect, but it needs to be mentioned. A fourth rule I have is to raise your hand before you speak.
Okay.
Sometimes the younger kids especially will just forget and blurt out, but if you keep reminding them of this rule, then eventually it'll be ingrained and they'll raise their hand and your classroom will run a lot more smoothly. My last rule is to always try your best. We can't always do the best on assignments, but as long as they're trying their hardest and trying their best, then that is good for our classroom.
Those sound like some great rules. Now, what if a student breaks a rule? Are there certain consequences that you are consistently keeping up with?
Absolutely.
Great.
Once again, I have 5 5-level consequence rule. And the first consequence is just a friendly reminder. This could mean if a student blurts out, just reminding them gently, you know, Jeremy, please raise your hand. Just something, it's not necessarily a warning, but it's just a little reminder. This, of course, depends on the severity of the rule being broken. My second level of consequence would be a verbal warning. This includes not only an immediate warning, but also a small conference with me. My third level of consequence is a loss of recess time. This could include half a recess, the whole recess. Once again, it depends on how wrong the rule is. Yes, how severe. Thank you. The fourth level in my classroom is a note to the parent. And this isn't done by me. This is a private note from the student to their parents telling them what they've done and what they're going to change about their own behavior. And this is, of course, overseen by me and includes the loss of recess time before and the private meeting with me. And then the fifth level, which I don't like to reach, is the principal's office. I don't think it's a good message necessarily to just send off our problems to the principal, but nonetheless, if it's been 5 times that this rule has been broken, then there needs to be a more serious response.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. That is all the time we have today, and I just wanted to say that we're going to continue tomorrow with our theme of education with the wonderful professor, Dr. Lundquist. He will be discussing about college students and their ways of life. Thank you.
Is he also discussing co-ops?
He is discussing co-ops. Thank you, Miss Phalange. That is all. You stay classy, Mount Pleasant.